The Cursed Prince's Claim.
The world snaps back with a jolt. My stomach churns as though it has been turned inside out and flipped upside down. My eyes blur and refocus 3 times before locking in on my new surroundings. We're no longer in the forest. We're standing in a vast marble hall carved from black stone. Moonlight spills through towering archways. Runes glow faintly across the floor. A few dim candles hang from sconces on the wall, but they only serve to accentuate the thick shadows that swirl throughout the room, thickest in the corners. My knees give way, but my captor doesn't let go. Supporting my weight as my mind spins, trying to grasp one small thing that makes sense. His arm stays locked around me until he is sure I've steadied myself. Once the world stops spiraling, I sigh, and he releases me with a gentleness I was not anticipating. I glance up, but the same coldness I'd seen before glared down at me as I stared into his impossible silver eyes. The shadows I'd seen swirling earlier momentarily stilled. I couldn't help but feel I was witnessing the calm before the storm. What is this? I ask, breathless. My court. Moonlight flickers behind him. I stare back with an uncomprehending blank gaze that causes a flicker of impatience to cross his face, a slight furrow forming in his brow, and somehow making him look even more perfect. I am the prince of the Evernight Court, he says quietly. And you are not safe here either. A dozen figures emerge from the shadows, tall, elegant, deadly. Fae. The word echoes in my mind like a truth I didn't want to believe. The tales I'd been told as a child were all meant to be bedtime stories, based on nothing but the vivid imagination of storytellers. But this was no bedtime story. It was a deadly nightmare made reality. Their eyes land on the mark glowing at my collarbone. I shift to hide myself behind my kidnapper. The male who had ripped me from my own world and thrust me into chaos. My abductor and my only shield against the foreign world I found myself trapped in. Their expressions twist. Fear, hunger, rage. One hisses, "She's marked." Another snarls, "Kill her before the curse takes root." The silver-eyed Fae appears to grow taller as his bulk shelters me from the piercing eyes of the court. Menace radiates from him as many of the Fae drop their eyes to the ground in a show of subservience. His authority in this world is clear, his voice like ice. Touch her and die. The room falls deathly silent. All I can hear is my heart pounding in my chest as I wait to see if they will obey his forceful command. He turns his head slightly, speaking to me without looking back. His sharp cheekbones and strong jawline are heart-stoppingly perfect. Stay close. And don't run. They can smell fear, and if they swarm, I may not be able to protect you. I step in closer to him. As I do, my arm brushes his fingertips with a feather-light touch, and I shiver. It was so slight, I could have imagined it, but I was almost certain I saw a slight shudder run through his body too. And just like that, somehow my captor was suddenly the only thing between me and a horde of bloodthirsty Fae.